book called The Power of Now, but we'll do it while we're in child's pose. So come onto your mat, bring your knees as wide as your mat, your big toes to touch underneath you. Sink your hips back towards your heels. Walk your fingers in front of you along the mat and let your forehead come down. Nice and long through the spine. It should be a comfortable position. You can take child's pose at any point during class today. A resting pose. And take this time to feel grounded. So connecting to the earth, you can send a grounding cord from your root chakra down to the center of the earth, a strong connection. Pulling all your energy in towards your body, feeling collected and stable on your mat. And since we're in quarantine, essentially, I think we all have a little bit of extra time right now to focus on the now and being fully present. So that's why I brought out this book called The Power of Now. I'm going to read one short chapter. It says, be present as a watcher of your mind, of your thoughts and emotions, as well as your reactions in various situations. Be at least as interested in your reactions as in the situation or person that causes you to react. Notice also how often your attention is in the past or the future. Do not judge or analyze what you observe. Watch the thought, feel the emotion, and observe your reaction. Don't make a personal problem out of them. You will then feel something more powerful than any of those things that you observe. The still, observing presence itself behind the content of your mind. The silent watcher. All right, take those hands over to the right. We'll do a little side body stretch. You're still in child's pose. Bring the hands over to the right. Reach through the left fingertips. Keep the head down. The forehead rests on the mat. You're breathing into that left shoulder, down through the rib cage, into the left hip. Try to keep that left hip from lifting. Maybe engaging that ujjayi breath that we use in yoga, softly closing the lips and breathing in and out of the nose. And then walk the hands through center over to the left. This time opening up the right side body. Let the forehead lie comfortably wherever it lands on the mat. Reach through those right fingertips. Breathe into the ribs. Breathe into the shoulder. All the way back to that right hip. And then we'll slowly come back to center. Press the hands into the mat and come up to your tabletop position. So stacking the wrists right over or underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. So this is your most stable position. We'll start with cat-cows, warming up the spine. Inhale, gaze goes up, drop your belly, your low ribs push towards the ground. And then as you exhale, move from your tailbone up the spine. Let your head be the last thing that moves to scared cat pose. Now take these at your own pace. Inhaling, gaze goes up. Exhaling, arch the spine. I'll give you some time here to really warm up the spine. So you can exaggerate this movement by bending the elbows as you transition from cat to cow and cow to cat. You can also close the eyes here. It's kind of nice to just tune in and just really feel, listen to the body right now. Everything today will be at your own pace, following your own inhales and exhales. All right, take your hands a little bit farther in front of you on your mat than where they are right now for cat-cow, and you're gonna turn this into hip circles. So you're still stabilized through the hands and through the shoulders, but you're bringing your hips in big wide circles. You can go all the way back to what feels like a child's pose. Drop the hips over to the side. Maybe breathe into them while they're hanging out down there. Moving as fast or as slow as you want. Still warming up the spine. It's snowing out, so I know my house is cold today. So going both directions with those hip circles. Even yourself out. And then we'll move back to the tabletop position. So you're stacked, shoulders over wrists. We'll inhale, open the chest of the right arm, open the right hand to the sky, and then exhale, thread the needle. Let the right hand go all the way under you, reach over to the left. Lay the right arm down on the mat, head comes to the mat, hips are high in the air, and you're opening up the back of your right shoulder. I like to press my left hand in the mat right in front of my face, and then push my left hand into the mat to help roll over the right shoulder. You should feel like your shoulder blades are separating away from each other. You can make this a balancing pose if you want to lift the left leg into the air. Totally optional. And then slowly we'll move back to tabletop. And go as slow and controlled as you did going in. When your right hand lands on the mat, we'll take the same pose other side. So inhale, the left hand sweeps open the chest, gaze goes left. Exhale, the hand goes under your body, over to the right side. Reach as far as you can, and then let your left arm come to the mat. Head comes to the mat as well. Breathe into the back of the left shoulder this time, the back of your body. Spread those shoulder blades apart. Hips stay high. And yogi's choice to turn this into a balancing thread the needle. You would lift your inside leg, your right leg, anywhere up into the sky. Adds a bit of a challenge. And then slowly we come back to tabletop position, slow and controlled. And when you get there, we're gonna push up to our knees. So I'm gonna turn to face the camera, but we're gonna meet on our knees. And you're gonna bring your right leg straight out to the side. So your right leg is straight. You're in one plane. So the foot is in the same plane as your left leg, your left knee. And then gate pose, you're gonna walk your right fingers down the right leg. Inhale the left hand high to the sky. So you're reaching over to the right side of the room, breathing into the left side body. Open up that rib cage. And then exhale, left hand comes to the floor beside you, right hand reaches up and over. So now we're reaching to the other side of the room, breathing into the right side body. Gaze can follow the right fingertips or look in front of you, whatever's more comfortable on the neck, opening up the body. And then we'll come back to our knees, back to our shins, coming back to center, bring the right foot in. This time we'll take the left foot out. Gate pose, other side. Walk those left fingertips down the left leg. Think about keeping your hips pressing forward still. Inhale, right hand reaches up and over to the left corner of the room. Really opening up that side body today. Breathe through the shoulder, through the rib cage, down to the hip. And then exhale, right hand to the floor beside you, left hand reaches up and over. Kind of like a cartwheel. We're going from one side of the mat to the other. Inhale lifts you back to your shins. I'm gonna turn to face the other way of the camera again. So we're gonna come into a little back bend now, camel pose if you want, if you're ready for camel. Otherwise, press your hands in fist position or fingers facing up into the low back. Press the hips forward. Begin to open the chest, and if you want, your head can fall back, opening the throat. And then if you're ready to come to camel, you would drop the hands to your heels, but this is totally optional. It's a big back bend. Keep pressing those hips forward. And then we'll inhale back to center. If you're in camel pose, come up one hand at a time, and then we'll move to just sitting on our bottoms. Bring our feet out in front of us. We'll bend the knees, place the feet onto the mat in front of us. We're gonna do a twist from here. So our knees are bent in front of us. We'll inhale the hands overhead, and exhale, twist right. So it's a spinal twist. Let the right hand land on the floor behind you. And then you can bring the right arm to the outside of the right leg and use that to push and twist. Gaze follows the right shoulder. Think about lifting the top of your head to the ceiling still so you're nice and long as you twist. And then we'll inhale back to center, bring those hands overhead. You can have fingertips touch and looking up. And then exhale, twist left. Same thing other side. So left hand falls behind you. Your right arm can stay straight. Hook it on the outside of that left leg. Tall through the spine as you twist. Gaze follows the left shoulder this time. Really use the strength of your arm to push into that leg to help you twist. And we'll inhale back to center. All right, we're gonna stay seated a little bit longer. So let's bring these feet out wide. Wide on your mat. Another seated stretch. We're gonna get into our low back again. So while we're in this wide-legged forward fold, think about rolling your inner thighs up. So these inner thighs, your little groin area, roll it up. And then your toes, both of your toes, flex those toes towards your face. So it might even lift the heels off the ground. So you're straighten the legs, and then hands come to your hips. Inhale to create a ton of length in the spine, open the chest, and then exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Now it's not going to be a big movement because we're still long in the spine here. Try to just lean forward without letting the back cave yet. Couple breaths. Still flex the toes towards the face, inner right thighs roll out. All right, now bring the hands to the floor in front of you, and you can lower down farther. You can cave the spine this time. So if you want to come all the way down to the forearms, whatever feels most comfortable for you. Maybe it means just pressing the hands into the floor in front of you. We're breathing into our low back, and we're breathing into the insides of our legs. All right, from here, we're gonna sweep our right forearm over to our right shin. So we're kind of low to the floor with this right forearm, sweep it over to the right shin, and then you're gonna think about opening your chest to the side of the room. Inhale the left hand up and over. Your left hand is trying to find those right toes. So keep your chest from caving down, open the chest, maybe the gaze goes to the side of the room, You should feel this huge back stretch in your low back on the left side, as well as the inside of the legs, but really getting into the low back on the left side. It's a TDQ stretch. Gaze wherever's comfortable. It could be to the sky, to the floor. All right, we're gonna roll through center. This time, bring your left forearm over to the left shin. Same pose, other side. So wherever your forearm lands, could be on the mat, on the shin, doesn't really matter. Inhale to create space in the chest, open the right hand to the sky, and then right fingertips fall towards the left toes. Sink into the stretch, let gravity help pull the hand over to the toes. And this time you're breathing into the low back on the right side. Breathe into the inside of that left leg. Keep reaching for those toes. Big breaths. All right, we'll come back to center. Bring the insides of the feet to touch, butterfly pose. Insides of the feet to touch. So we want the outer edges of our feet to come together on the mat. But then you're gonna take your hands and you're gonna give yourself a little foot massage, the insides of your feet. So it's like you're opening a book. The inner sides of the inner edges of your feet aren't really touching, just the outer edges of your feet. Give yourself a little foot massage, open your feet up. And from here, one last forward fold into into Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. You can walk the hands forward. So there's actually two different stretches in butterfly pose. If your heels are close to your body, you're gonna feel it more in your hips. But if you bring your heels away from your body, still having this butterfly position, and then you fold, you're gonna feel it more in your low back. So it just depends on what you need today. Wherever you're at, inhale to create space. And exhale, release into the stretch. All right, inhale lifts you to seating. We are going to come into our standing pose. So to get there, grab the backs of your legs. You're gonna rock along your spine a few times. As long as that feels good. Otherwise, just come up to standing. But if it feels good, do 4 or 5 rolls. Rocking the entire length of your spine, and then eventually gaining momentum, you're gonna come all the way up to standing at the top of your mat. We'll find a nice grounded pose, mountain pose. So while we're standing, now you can think about grounding through your feet chakra. So on the bottom of your feet, imagine there's eyes, and then the eyes are opening. Now your feet chakras are open, ground to the center of the earth. Lift the kneecaps into the quads. Neutral pelvis, strong in the core, hands down by your side. And then we'll take our first inhale, bring the hands overhead, fingertips to touch. And then we're gonna take a side body stretch. So grab the left wrist with the right hand. As you exhale, reach both hands over to the right. So we're standing side body stretch. Push those hips over to the left. Pull the hands over to the right. We'll inhale back to center. Change the grip of the hands. So now the left hand grabs the right wrist. Inhale to create length. Exhale, fold over to the left. Shoot those hips over to the right. Side body stretch. Breathe into it. Inhale back to center. You can take one quick back bend if you want to press the hands into your low back. Let the head fall back. And then inhale to center. Exhale, forward fold. First forward fold of class. We'll inhale, half lift. So you lengthen the spine, press the fingers to the floor or your shins. Exhale, forward fold, press your hands into the mat and step back plank pose. So we're holding plank. We'll all meet in plank. Strong plank pose. Your wrists are right under the shoulders. Shooting energy through your heels to the back of the room. And then option to stay here, or maybe you lift that right foot off the floor. And then stay here, or maybe you lift the right hand off the floor. Reach the left hand. Right foot, left hand. All right, drop them both. Good job. Same thing, other side. So you stay holding plank, or you lift the left foot. And then you can lift the right hand. Super hard, finding balance. Nice job. Return everything to the floor, and then we'll lower all the way onto our stomachs. Try and go slow and controlled. All the way onto the bellies. Let the hands land on the shoulders. Hands land on the mat right under the shoulders. We'll spread the feet about as wide as the mat. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. And then inhale, cobra pose. So use the strength of your low back. Shine your chest forward. Try not to use the mat to grip onto anything. And then exhale, release, chin to the mat. Take a breath here. All right, next inhale, we'll come up to another cobra pose, but this time, I do want you to use the strength of your hands, press into the mat, but also pull forward. So use that grip of your hands on the mat to pull your chest forward, creating length in the spine, shoulders out of the ears, reach up through the head. And exhale, release, chin to the floor. We'll take one more back bend after this. Maybe windshield wiper the knees side to side while we're down here. So you bend the knees and then windshield wiper the feet side to side. All right, come back to center. We're gonna do one more back strengthener. This one's gonna be Superman. So bring your arms straight out in front of you, feet behind you. On an inhale, you lift all four limbs off the floor. You're trying to balance on your hip bones. Keep the chest lifted, feet lifted, thighs off the mat, chest off the mat. Use the strength of that low spine. And release, nice job. Hands come to under your shoulders. Very slowly, you push back, counter stretch, child's pose, very slowly. All the way back to child's pose. Very nice counter stretch to those back bends. Nice and slow. Maybe rock the hips side to side a little bit in child's pose. All right, make your way through tabletop to your first down dog of class. So from tabletop, you'll tuck both of your toes. Inhale, lift those hips high to the sky. First down dog of class, make it yours. You can walk the dog here, bending one knee, dropping it across the body, getting into the back of the other leg. You can come up onto the tippy toes and then lower the heels back and down, or up and down, kind of getting into the balls of the feet. So, foundation of down dog, talk about it for a second. Think about spreading your fingers super wide and pressing the whole palm of the whole surface area of your hand onto the mat. Roll your shoulders in just a little bit to face each other. We're still in down dog. Lift the hips high to the sky and then shoot them back towards the corner of the room. So your hips are lifting back behind you. And then gaze is between the ankles or between the inner thighs. Or if you can, try to bring your gaze all the way to where your belly button is for down dog. All right, let's bend the knees and then very slowly you're gonna walk one little baby step at a time all the way to the top of your mat, bringing the feet to your hands. And then we'll meet in ragdoll pose. So bring your feet about hips width distance on your mat, bend the knees heavy, let the thighs hang out on, or your belly hang out on your thighs. Grab your elbows and then sway side to side. Ragdoll pose. You can shake your head out yes and shake your head out no. Should be a nice big release in your low back. You don't have to be straight in the legs in ragdoll pose. In fact, it's better to have bent knees. But if you want to maybe play around with straightening into one leg at a time, see what that feels like, go ahead. And then slowly we'll roll up one vertebrae at a time. Let your head be the last thing to come up. Roll the shoulders up towards the ears and let the shoulder blades fall down your back. Hands land by your sides. We're back in that strong mountain pose. We'll inhale the hands overhead, fingertips to touch. And then what we're gonna do is twist right. So keep your hips facing forward. You're just opening those arms out to the right. Gaze follows the right fingertips. Square your hips back to the center of the room. You're just twisting through the spine. And then inhale the hands back to center overhead. This time as you exhale, same thing, twist left. So left hand goes behind you, right hand goes forward. Gaze goes to the left fingertips. And then your left hip probably twisted back. So push that left hip forward to square to the front of the room. Inhale back to center and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthen through the spine, fingertips to the shins or the floor. Exhale, plant the hands to the mat, step back, take it through chaturanga and up dog, down dog if you want, or skip it and just meet in down dog. So you can exhale, chaturanga, half push-up. Inhale, roll over the toes, thighs off the mat, shoulders out of the ears, up dog. And exhale, down dog. That's one option for Vinyasa, the full chaturanga up dog. Or you can always lower down to the knees. Inhale, cobra pose. And then exhale, meet us in down dog. Vinyasas will be optional. So just listen to your body, and we always will meet in down dog. Inhale, lift the right leg high to the sky. Bend the knee, drop the foot over to the left. Open the hip. If wild thing is in your practice, feel free. You can drop the foot all the way to the floor. Otherwise, we're just hanging out in down dog, breathing into that right hip. Maybe you take hip circles. Maybe you just keep breathing, find stillness. All right, flip your dog, come back to down dog. Everybody will drop the right foot down to meet the left. Inhale, left leg goes high to the sky, switching feet. Bend the left knee, drop the foot over to the right in the air. Breathe into that left hip. If wild things in your practice, you'll flip all the way over. Press both feet into the mat. Inhale, lift the hips, hand goes to the back of the room. Otherwise, you stay in that three-legged down dog, breathing into the hip. Maybe some hip circles. All right, come back, flip your dog. Everybody will drop their left foot down to the mat, meeting their right foot. And then we're gonna walk our hands to the back of the mat. So walk your hands towards your feet. And then slowly we'll roll up one vertebrae at a time, coming back to standing. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of a standing sequence now, some balancing and some strengthening in the legs. So I'm just gonna turn to face the camera a little bit. We'll start by grounding into the right foot. We'll inhale, bring the hands over out to the sides. And then as you exhale, sweep the right, or left hand under the right hand. So left elbow under right elbow. Eagle arms. And then we're grounding into the right foot. You're gonna bend into both knees. And you're gonna lift the left foot, wrap it around the right leg, coming into eagle pose. So there's a lot going on in eagle pose. Try and sink your hips down. And then lift your elbows higher. Keep your low ribs tucked in. All right, from here, warrior 3 with eagle arms. You're gonna keep those arms if you want, yogi's choice. Unwrap that left leg and shoot that left heel towards the back of the room. So warrior 3 with eagle arms. Yogi's choice. If you don't like this shoulder stretch, release the eagle arms, do whatever you want with the hands. Warrior 3. Keep grounding through that right foot. This is a tough pose, building strength in the right leg. All right, release the hands to the floor, standing splits. Left foot goes high to the sky. We're still grounding through that right foot. Let the top of your head find the top of your foot. It's reaching down. Release the neck. And then from here, we're gonna slowly lower our left foot to the back of the mat. And we're gonna lift the chest, come back to standing, setting up for pyramid pose. So heel to heel alignment with pyramid pose. So if there was lines on your mat, your heels would be in the same line. Back toes are out at an angle about 30 degrees. We'll inhale to lift the chest and exhale, fold over this right leg, pyramid pose. Think about hollowing out your belly. So pull your belly button back towards your spine. And let your forehead come to the shin. Just let it fall down, releasing any tension in the neck. Maybe you have that block or that prop that you want to keep your chest lifted while you're in pyramid pose. You should really feel it in the back of the right leg. All right, from here, we're gonna take a twist. So take your left hand to the inside of the right foot. Maybe you have that block again. So we're going to revolve triangle. You're gonna inhale that left hand or the right hand high to the sky. So you still have those same straight legs for pyramid pose. Your left hand's on the floor in front of the right foot or on the inside of the right foot. Right hand high to the sky. Nice job. Strong through the core, keep the chest lifted, gazes wherever is comfortable. All right, nice job, let's get out of it. So bend the right knee, press the hands into the mat, under the shoulders. You're gonna walk your feet back to plank pose. Exhale through chaturanga, vinyasa, or meet me in down dog. Couple breaths in down dog. Maybe as you exhale, you open the mouth and let out the heat. So inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale if you want. Same thing, other side. So we're gonna walk our hands to the back of the mat, coming to our feet. Walk the hands back, and then slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Lift the shoulders up to the ears and then let them fall back down your shoulder blades, down your spine. And then we're gonna ground into the left foot this time. So inhale, sweep the hands out to the side. Exhale, right elbow comes under left elbow. Bend the knees and you're gonna lift the right foot over the left leg this time. So right thigh is on top and right elbow is on bottom. That's how you know if you got into it correctly. Begin to sink into the hips. Strong standing pose here. Pull those elbows high to the sky. Low ribs stay tucked in, grounding through that left foot. Try to think about pulling your knees and elbows into one straight line. Warrior 3 with eagle arms, unravel the right leg, shoot that right heel towards the back of the room. Yogi's choice, keep those eagle arms if you like that shoulder stretch. That's what eagle arms gives you, is a really nice shoulder stretch. If you pull those those elbows farther away from you, going towards the front of the room, strong warrior 3, kick that right heel towards the back of the room, still balancing. All right, drop the hands to the floor, standing splits, right leg goes high to the sky. Drop the head towards the top of your left foot. Standing splits, left leg. Breathe into the back of that left leg. Maybe you challenge for balance and lift one hand off the mat. Nice job. We'll drop that so you're gonna bend the left knee to allow you to drop the right foot towards the back of your mat. You're gonna lift the chest. We're gonna look at our feet and make sure we have about 3 foot distance between our heels, 3 to 4 feet, setting up for that pyramid pose. Back toes, which should be your right foot, are out at an angle. Turn to face your hips towards the front of the room. Inhale to create length. Exhale, fold over the left leg. Pyramid pose. Let your hands fall to the mat. Let your forehead come down to the shin. Hollow out the belly. Pull the belly button to the spine. Breathe into the back of that left leg that just did so much work for you. Now we're stretching it out. All right, we're gonna move to revolve triangles. So same thing as we did the other side. Your right hand's gonna come to the inside of that left foot. Or maybe some people even like to place the right hand on the outside of the left foot. You find what's best for you. Maybe you have a block or a prop. You inhale the left hand high to the sky, open the chest over to the side of the room. And then your gaze can follow the left fingertips, or your gaze is just wherever is comfortable. Find something that's not moving and focus your gaze. It helps with the balance. All right, nice job. Let's get out of it. Bring those hands back down to the mat, right under the shoulders. Step your left foot back to meet the right. Take it through Vinyasa or meet me in down dog, however you want to get there. Again, you can come all the way onto your belly, move through cobra pose, or just go from plank to down dog. All right, bend the knees, and on the bottom of your next exhale, look at the space between your hands, and you're gonna walk, step, or hop to the front of your mat. When you get there, inhale, half lift, lengthen the spine, shine the heart forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we reverse swan dive all the way up to standing. Hands come overhead. And then exhale, hands come through heart center and down by your side. Inhale, hands sweep back overhead. Going into a flow here. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthen the spine, fingertips to the shin or the mat. Exhale, plant the hands, take it through Chaturanga Vinyasa or meet me in down dog. Trying to move with our breath here. When you get to down dog, inhale the right leg high to the sky. Exhale, you're gonna bring your right knee to your right elbow, give it a little tap, and then inhale that leg long behind you. Next exhale, knee comes through center to your chest. Don't drop the foot. Lift the knee high into the chest. Use the core. Inhale that leg long behind you. Third exhale, knee goes across the body over to the right elbow or the left elbow. Give it a little tap. And then inhale the leg high to the sky. Fourth exhale, we get to plant the foot in the front of the mat. Open up warrior one. So hands sweep forward. Both hands are coming to the front of the room. Your back toes are out at an angle about 45 degrees. Warrior one, your hips are square to the front of the room. So maybe pull this right hip back into the hip socket. Exhale, drop the hands behind you. You're gonna clasp the hands together. And then the chest, it will force the chest to open. And then as you exhale, we're gonna lower into a humble warrior. Bring the inside of the chest to the your chest to the inside of the right leg. Let the head drop, hang heavy, and let those hands come overhead. So there's a lot going on in humble warrior. The shoulder stretch if your hands are overhead. Your right leg is burning on fire. Keep those strong warrior two legs. Try and keep your right hip from shooting out to the right. Try and keep that in the same line as warrior one. We'll inhale, come back to warrior one, and then we're gonna open it up all the way to warrior two. So this time your left hand goes behind you. Right hand stays reaching towards the front of the room. You're gonna open your hips to the side of the room now. So going from warrior one to warrior two is going from hips square to the front of the room to now hips square to the side of the room. Heel to heel alignment. Inhale, reverse warrior, left hand down the leg, back leg, right hand high to the sky. Again, getting into that side body, breathe into those right ribs. Exhale, extended side angle. Right elbow, right knee, left hand reaches up and over. Extended side angle. Again, yogi's choice, lots of options here. You could keep the elbow on the knee or the hand goes to the floor. Maybe you take a bind. Inhale back to warrior two. Keep that front knee bent. Don't lose that strong legs. And then what we're gonna do is our peak pose of class, half moon. You are going to, sorry, I have to resituate myself because I'm gonna run into the wall. So from warrior two, your right hand comes to in front of your right foot. Your left foot and your left hand go high to the sky. So maybe you grab that block or your prop, whatever you have under your right hand. Left heel, shooting energy to the back of the room. Flex those left toes towards your face. Left hand stays high to the sky. Nice job. Okay, plant both hands. Take it through Vinyasa or meet me in down dog. So plant those hands under the shoulders. Step that right foot back to meet the left. When you're strong in plank, that's when you exhale, drop through chaturanga. Inhaling up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg goes high to the sky. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Give it a tap. Raise the knee higher. Inhale the leg long behind you. Next exhale, knee to chest. Push into your hands, arching your spine like scared cat pose. Don't let that foot drop. Inhale that leg long behind you. Third exhale, knee goes across the body to the right elbow. If you can get it there, lift the knee even higher. Inhale the leg long behind you up to the sky. Fourth exhale brings the foot to the front of the mat. We inhale, sweep the hands up, warrior one. Hands come to the front of the room. Setting up in our warrior one position. So about heel to heel alignment with warrior one, but I actually prefer to have my back foot out a little bit farther to the right for warrior one. It's more comfortable on my knee, so play around with it. We're gonna exhale, drop the hands behind us, setting up for that humble warrior. So open the chest, try and get those hands clasped together. And then exhale, humble your warrior. Let your chest fall to the inside of the left thigh. Hollow out the belly still. Everything is active in this pose. Let the neck release. So let the head hang heavy. You don't have to hold up the neck. And then check your left hip. Did it swing out to the side as you lowered into humble warrior? Push that left hip back into that warrior one leg position. All right, inhale back through warrior one, and then open it up. We meet in warrior two. So open up those hands, cartwheel the left hand to the front of the room, the right hand to the back of the room. Strong warrior two stance now. Inhale, reverse warrior, left hand high to the sky, right hand drops down the right leg. Breathe into those ribs on the left side, through the shoulder. Exhale, extended side angle, left elbow, left kneecap, right hand reaches up and over. You're one long line from your right heel through those, all the way to the right fingertips. Yogi's choice for extended side angle. We inhale back to warrior two, and then we find our peak pose of class. You hop that right foot forward. You find how you can counterbalance your body weight so that your left hand falls to the floor in front of that left foot. Right heel shoots towards the back of the room. Right hand high to the sky. Keep that chest open to the side wall. Use your breath. And then drop that foot. Plant the hands on the mat. Step the right foot back to meet the left. One of our last vinyasas of class. Exhale through chaturanga, vinyasa, or meet me in down dog. All right, we're gonna move from down dog to pigeon pose. So option to inhale the right leg high to the sky, or you can just move from down dog. Bring the right knee to the back of the right wrist. Drop it on your mat. Walk your back foot long down your mat. Pigeon pose. So first we'll walk our hands in towards our body. Lift the chest. You get a little bit of a hip flexor stretch on the left side there. And then exhale, fall into pigeon pose. Lower your chest towards the floor. You can come onto the forearms. And we're gonna hold this stretch for a minute. If it hurts your left or your right knee, don't do pigeon pose. You can roll onto your back and do a figure four, bringing your left, I keep mixing up left and right. Bringing your right shin towards your chest. So pigeon pose or figure four is the same stretch. Listen to your body. Maybe there's another variation of pigeon pose that you want to take. Maybe add a little quad stretch, add thread the needle. The quad stretch would be lifting that left heel towards your body, reaching around and grabbing it. More of an intense stretch. Option to just mellow out in pigeon pose. Let gravity do the work here. So you're melting down to the mat. It's another grounding pose. Kind of settling into the stretch. Using the power of now to be completely focused on your present moment. Making the most of it. All right, let's switch sides. So this is going to be at your own pace. Slowly, you're going to walk your hands back towards your body, lifting the chest. And then you can take the right foot back to down dog if you want. And maybe take an in-between stretch here, maybe walk the dog, whatever your body's calling for. And then you'll do the same thing left side. So you can inhale the left leg high to the sky, or you can just bring the left knee to the back of the left wrist. Try to bring your shin parallel to the front of the mat, even though it's near impossible. You're just trying to lift that shin as high as you can. Walk your right leg back down the mat. First, press your hands into the mat towards your body to lift the chest, to breathe a little bit into that right hip flexor, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, release to your pigeon pose. We'll be here for at least a minute, so settle in. Come down to your forearms, down to a block, down to a blanket. Get comfortable, let the forehead rest. And breathe into that left glute. Now again, if that knee on the left side hurts, get out of it. You do not have to do pigeon pose whatsoever. You can take a figure 4, getting the exact same stretch. And then there's lots of options. Yogi's choice for this pigeon pose. You can thread the needle. So threading the needle is what we did in the beginning of class. You would take your right arm over to the left, adding a little spinal twist. And then that last option for pigeon pose is to add the quad stretch. You would bring that right heel. You'd have to lift the chest, press the hands into the mat, bring the right heel towards the body, reach back and grab the foot. That's a pretty intense quad stretch. Every exhale, you get a little deeper into the stretches, really melting down, just a little bit longer here. All right, slowly we'll lift out of pigeon pose. You're gonna roll onto your back. So from pigeon pose, you'll probably wanna rock over onto that left hip, allowing you to swing the leg out from underneath you. Slowly roll onto your back. And then when you get there, hug the knees into the chest, give yourself a hug, wrap your forearms around your shins. You can let the head drop to the mat and rock side to side. From here, taking happy baby, you'll bend the knees, grab the outsides of the feet, rock side to side. And when you're ready to find stillness, think about pulling the bottoms of your feet with your arms, using the strength of your arms, getting your knees towards the sides of your body so your knees are reaching down towards the mat. Maybe eventually your knees will touch the mat on either side of you. Think about keeping your spine super long in happy baby. So if your bottom of your spine lifts off the mat, try and get that back down. If your shoulder blades lift off the mat in happy baby, try and get those back down. Entire length of your spine. Even tucking your chin into the chest a little bit, adding length through the spine or through the neck. All right, you can release out of happy baby. I'm in, give you a couple minutes to, maybe just 1 minute to play around with any last stretches that are calling your body today. At the end of class, your spine might be warmed up for a plow pose or shoulder stand, if that's in your practice. Maybe a supine twist, stretching out the spine from side to side. In class today, we did a lot of twisting and we did a lot of side body openers. So you might feel good if you're lifting your arms from side to side the rest of the day, or just pretty loose in your back. We really got into the spine today and our side body. So we'll meet, not yet, but we will meet lying on our backs in Shavasana. A few more breaths, whatever pose you're in, just listening to the body. All right, let's take a moment to get grounded. For Shavasana, our final pose of class, lay down on your mats, let your legs be long, toes roll out to the side. Your hands can be down by your sides, or the left hand can be on your heart, the right hand on your stomach. If you want to tap into your breath and your heartbeat. And then again, tuck that chin just a little bit closer to the chest, not so that your head lifts off the mat, but so that your neck stretches and lengthens. And then I'm going to read that same paragraph from The Power of Now one last time before we sign off today. So it says, be present as the watcher of your mind, of your thoughts and emotions, as well as your reactions in various situations. Be at least as interested in your reactions as in the situation or person that caused you to react. Notice also how often your attention is in the past or future. Do not judge or analyze what you observe. Watch the thought, feel the emotion, observe your reaction. Do not make a personal problem out of them. You will then feel something more powerful than any of those things that you observe. The still, observing presence itself behind the content of your mind. The silent watcher, which is your soul. Welcome to Shavasana. Invite some movement back into your body by wiggling the fingers and toes. Maybe you rock the head gently side to side. And then slowly reach the hands overhead like it's the first stretch of the day, being super long through the body. And then slowly roll over onto one side, using your arm as a pillow. Right side for grounding, left side for energizing. And in this space, as you're waking back up, I invite you to take yoga off the mat with you into the other 23 hours of your day. And during this really special time that we have where we're all at home, really practicing the power of now, the mighty presence of just being. And then slowly push yourself up to a comfortable seated position. We'll meet sitting cross-legged, facing our laptops, our computers. I kind of hate to say that. I hate to bring technology into it, but it's really what's connecting us today. So we'll gently close the eyes. Hands rest on the knees. 2 last breaths together. We'll inhale, bring the hands overhead, fingertips to touch. Collecting energy between the palms. Exhale, bring the thumb down to your forehead, the third eye center. Press the thumbs into your forehead, the forehead back into the thumbs. Focus on your third eye center behind your 2 eyes. For here we are all connected. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me.